Ava called me 6 times that night. She left 2 voicemails. Ethan, please, talk to me. I didn't mean to hurt you. Just call me back, okay? Please. I didn't. Instead, I sat on the balcony with a glass of scotch and stared out at the skyline, letting the silence wrap around me like armor. The kiss with Rebecca, staged though it was, had sent shockwaves through both of them. It was never about romance. It was about letting them feel the rawness of betrayal in the exact place they disrespected so carelessly. Now it was their turn to sit with silence, confusion, and regret. The next morning, Rebecca messaged me. He came home shaking. He tried to lie. I just laughed. Thank you for giving me clarity. I replied, thank you for helping me close a door I never realized was still open. It wasn't long before Ava appeared at my apartment. She banged on the door, not like a partner begging, but like someone desperate to stop something from crumbling. I opened the door, calm, emotionless. She stood there, wearing the same perfume I used to love, her eyes wide and glassy. Can we talk? She asked. I stepped aside. She sat down at the kitchen island, fingers nervously drumming on the marble counter. You set that up, she finally said, voice low. Yes, I answered. She looked at me, wounded. Why, that was cruel. I laughed. Not because it was funny, but because it was so absurd. You brought your affair into our booth, Ava. Into our bar. I didn't scream. I didn't destroy your things. I just watched. And walked away. That wasn't fair either. She snapped. Fair, I said, my voice rising slightly. You don't get to talk about fair. You lied to me for months. I cooked you dinners while you were scheduling hotel meetups. You kissed someone else in the place where we celebrated our anniversary. Don't lecture me about fairness. She flinched. I didn't plan to fall for him, she whispered. But you did, I said. And worse, you stayed. She looked down. I thought, maybe you and I were too comfortable. Too predictable. My chest tightened. So your answer was chaos. Betrayal. No, she said, shaking her head. I didn't think you'd find out. I don't know. I didn't expect it to feel so empty afterward. That line cut through me sharper than anything else. Ava wasn't evil. She was selfish, thoughtless, caught in the thrill of something new, while forgetting the sacredness of what we had built. I thought maybe you didn't really love me anymore, she said. I loved you enough to never touch another woman, I replied. Silence. Then, she asked the question I expected. Do you love her, Rebecca? I gave her a long, steady look. I don't even know Rebecca. But she helped me get closure. Something you never gave me. Ava looked away, wiping a tear. So that kiss was just revenge? I paused, considering the word. No, it was clarity. For both of us. Now you know how it feels to be blindsided. To see someone you trusted in a place filled with memories, only they're kissing someone else. She didn't speak. There was nothing left to say. A week passed. I boxed up everything of hers. Photos, mugs, books. I left the box by the door and sent her a text. You can pick this up when you're ready. No need to knock. She came by silently and never said another word. I didn't need apologies. I needed distance. Months went by. I poured myself into my work. Hit the gym more. Spent nights with friends I hadn't seen in ages. I laughed again. I healed. Then one day, I walked into the bar, yes, our bar, and sat in the booth again. This time, alone. The bartender recognized me and gave a small nod. Haven't seen you in a while, Ethan. Yeah, I said. Had to do some growing. Want your usual? I smiled. Sure, make it a double. As I sipped my drink, I stared at the spot across from me where Ava had once smiled, held my hand, and promised me forever. There were no tears, only a strange, beautiful peace. Just as I finished my drink, a woman's voice said, mind if I sit? I looked up. It was Rebecca. We hadn't seen each other since that night. She looked radiant, not polished, but free. Of course, I said, sliding her a drink menu. She sat across from me and chuckled. Funny, I never understood why this place mattered so much to you both, until that night. And now, I asked. She glanced around. Now it just feels like the beginning of something. Maybe not for us, but maybe for people like us. People who were betrayed, but didn't let it break them. I nodded slowly. Maybe this booth is cursed. She laughed. Or maybe, it's sacred. We toasted silently. To healing. To peace. To never letting betrayal define us. Ava stood frozen at the entrance of the bar. Her hand clutched Caleb's arm as if she needed help standing. Her eyes were wide, stunned, locked onto the sight of me, her long-term boyfriend, sitting in our booth, kissing his wife. She didn't know Rebecca, but her instinct screamed the truth before her mind could catch up. Caleb's face drained of all color. I saw guilt, fear, and something else flicker in his eyes, defeat. Rebecca didn't even flinch. She slowly pulled away from our brief kiss, dabbed the corner of her mouth with her napkin like it was any other Tuesday night, then turned her gaze straight at her husband. "I know," she said coldly. "About everything. The bar went quiet. No one moved. No one spoke. A couple sitting nearby exchanged nervous glances. Caleb stumbled forward. "Rebecca, it's not what it looks like." She held up her hand. "It's exactly what it looks like, Caleb. And what I just did is exactly what it felt like for me when I opened your phone." His mouth opened, but no sound came out. Ava looked between the two of them, panicked. "Ethan, please, can we talk? Somewhere private." I looked up at her, calm, composed, unlike the mess I had been just a week ago. "Private? You mean like the booth you used to share with me?" Her jaw tightened. "It didn't mean anything." Rebecca laughed under her breath. "It never does it? Caleb finally found his voice. "Rebecca, we can work this out." She stood. "No, you can work out where you're going to sleep tonight. And maybe how to explain to your kids why Daddy chose happy hour over honesty." He blinked, shocked. "You wouldn't bring the kids into this." She cut him off. "You already did." I turned to Ava, still standing at the edge of the booth. Her cheeks flushed, her breathing shallow. "You brought him here," I said quietly. "To this bar. To the booth we carved our initials into. You fed him the same drink I used to make for you at home." She looked like she wanted to sink into the floor. "I messed up," she whispered. "No," I said. "A mess is spilling red wine on the rug. This was a demolition. Planned, rehearsed, enjoyed. The moment was thick with tension. I knew what I wanted to say next, and I needed her to hear every word. I sat back. I didn't scream. I didn't key your car. I didn't ruin your career. I just let you both look in the mirror you built." She clenched her fists. "Is that what this was? Revenge?" Rebecca spoke before I could. "No, it was justice. Clean, quiet, undeniable justice." Ava took a step forward. "Ethan, can we at least talk?" I shook my head. "You had all the time in the world to talk. But you chose to lie. Over and over again. That booth, it wasn't just a place. It was a piece of me. And you threw it away like it was nothing." Tears finally spilled down her cheeks. "I still love you," she whispered. I didn't blink. "I don't know who you are anymore." Rebecca grabbed her purse, straightened her jacket, and looked at me. "Ready?" I stood and followed her out. The air outside felt cold, crisp, pure. As we walked toward the parking lot, she said, "Do you regret it?" "No," I replied. "It wasn't about hurting them. It was about setting them free, from their masks." She nodded. "Thank you," she said quietly. "You helped me leave with my dignity intact. You helped me take back mine." We exchanged a long, quiet look. No chemistry, no sparks, just a deep understanding between two people who chose healing over hatred. Over the next few days, Ava tried to reach out again. She left voice messages. "I'm so sorry. I can't sleep. I didn't mean for it to go so far. Can we meet just once?" I didn't reply. Eventually, her messages stopped. I heard through a mutual friend that she and Caleb broke things off. He went back to his wife, for about a month, before Rebecca filed for divorce. Good for her. As for Ava, she moved to a new city, changed jobs, disappeared like a ghost embarrassed to haunt the same place twice. Months passed, and slowly, I healed. I reclaimed my life, piece by piece. I started going back to that bar, sitting in that same booth. Not every week, but enough to remind myself that memories are mine to control, not hers to haunt. And one evening, I brought a date there. Someone new, someone honest. She asked me why I chose that bar. I just smiled and said, it used to mean something painful. Now, it reminds me of how strong I became. 1 year later, I got a small envelope in the mail. No return address, no letter inside, just a folded photo. It was that booth, empty. Underneath was a handwritten note. "I ruined it, I know. I hope you made it yours again, eh?" I stared at it for a while. Then burned it. Some stories don't need sequels. They just need closure. Final message. You don't always need to scream to be heard. You don't always need to fight to win. Sometimes, the calmest actions shake the world the most.